do the intro. Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the Full Spectrum Podcast. My name is Trey, and it's just me today. Rugger couldn't make it today. He had some stuff come up. Hopefully still be on for Thursday. We'll see. But he can't make it tonight, so you're stuck with just me. However, you might now look at that chat and notice that something's different. Something's changed. Something is not what it was before. That is because we are streaming on YouTube and Twitch again now, using Restream, which is really cool. It's something that was requested a while back. It's something we tossed around the idea of, and ultimately where I landed on the issue is just, hey, why not? The reason we stopped originally was because of the delay. The delay was getting incredible because YouTube was always updating their streaming, and the delay was just getting ridiculous. But now that we're partners with both Twitch and YouTube, shaking hands on both sides, why wouldn't we go ahead and restream again? So I figured tonight, on the night that's probably going to be a little bit shorter podcast because it's just me, figured we'll go ahead and just give it a go. Why not, right? And it may be that chat gets moved or made bigger, and that Restream logo really bothers me. I wish we didn't have it. It's not showing up on either of the streams that I can see. It's just on the Restream one. So maybe it's not actually there, and Restream is lying to me. I think that might be the case. Regardless, though, we have a show tonight. It's probably going to be a little bit shorter because, again, flying solo. But we got some stuff to talk about, and hopefully we get some chat going. If we don't, hey, guess what? The show goes on. I know we're going to have a couple people from the chat that aren't here tonight, but everybody that is here, I appreciate you. Everybody that is watching this later on YouTube or Twitch, I appreciate you. If you're watching this on Twitch and you're not going to be able to finish it before the 2 weeks are up, before it automatically cycles it out, go ahead and move over to the YouTube side where you can watch the full VOD up on the channel as it always goes. We have a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. Not all of it going to take a lot of time, but some of it going to take a weird amount of time. And I know that's a weird way to explain that, but just bear with me because we've got some stuff to go over, and I'm probably going to ramble a lot. So please be prepared for that. I have a habit of rambling when there's not somebody to keep me contained. There's so many times that I talk over Rundgren when I don't mean to because I have so much I want to say. I'm just one of those people that love to talk. I don't actually. It's weird. I don't love to talk. I don't love to talk most of the time, but with people I'm comfortable with, I love to talk. And it just means I'm comfortable with you, dear viewer. So let me face this off-brand soda to you. And let's kick into it. So, starting off here, we'll get into my week. And it's not going to surprise anybody. I've been playing Guild Wars 2 still. Guild Wars 2 continues to be great. Really loving it. Having a lot of fun with it. My girlfriend started playing, and she's loving it. And we got a video planned there. Be some cool stuff coming out from that. But, yeah, that game continues to be great. I've been leveling my Necromancer through crafting, which is really crazy to me. And I should probably get back into doing actual content on my Necromancer because I'm not going to know how to play him. I've been leveling my Guardian alongside her and then my Ranger alongside her, and that's a lot of fun. I really, really love playing around with those elite specs, getting completely different gameplay styles depending on what class I'm playing and what spec I'm playing. I got the first of the Return to Dry Top achievement done in Living World Season 2, and I need to do more story, but I really wanted to do that achievement, and I'm glad I did because I've got a lot of good stuff from it. But yeah, it continues to be a great game. I'm having a blast with it. I'm really enjoying it. I am going to go ahead and move this tab over here so I can keep an eye on the Restream health, because right now our connection is excellent, which is great. For some reason, we're in the wrong category. There we go. And let me fix this. If I'd known this was wrong, I'd have fixed it during the pre-show. There we go. Okay. Still rocking on, doing good everywhere. Awesome. Yeah, it's just Guild Wars 2 continues to be really fun. I really like the way that, hey, I hit 80, I'm at max level. Now there's still everything in the world for me to do. And I find that really satisfying. I think that the more that I play this game, the more I want to play this game, if that makes sense. It continues to grab me in a way, and I'm really, really loving it so far. I'm sure there's a little things here and there that I'd like to change. I mean, I think that getting that first mount early in that new player experience is a huge buff, and I'll be talking about that in the video that I'm gonna be recording about my girlfriend's first player experience. But I just think that the game as a whole is really solid. Everything you do progresses you, and that's one of my favorite things about it. Everything I'm doing is making me better in a way that I just really like. Guild Wars 2 is great, and some of those achievements are really difficult. The Return to Drytop achievement was not easy, but it felt really rewarding to start checking things off the list and just slowly get those down. I'm really, really enjoying this game, and I'm so glad I tried it out. Also, the community has been great. The outpouring of support. I mean, it's some of the best videos, like numbers-wise, on the channel, and that's not why I'm still playing it. I'm still playing it because I like it. I think it's been made very clear on this channel that if I hate something, unless I love to hate it, I won't continue. Balan is an exception. We're not talking about Balan Wonderworld. But it means a lot to have all that support, and I really do appreciate it. So thanks so much for all of that. You guys, you're all the best, and I appreciate it. I also got caught up, and by caught up, I mean I'm at, as far as it goes right now, on Sobote Must Be Destroyed. There are not destroyed. There are 9 chapters left to the end, and none of them are translated. And I'm really considering, with how much I enjoy that series, I want to be able to be done with it. I want to be able to talk about it. I'm really considering just Google Translate those chapters to be able to get them done, because, man, I want to see how the story ends. I really enjoyed Sobote Must Be Destroyed, and I would love to be able to finish it, because I think that it is incredible. It's one of the best manga I've ever read, in my opinion. It's one of the best stories that I've ever been able to enjoy, and it has some of the best art. It's so, so good. Just, I want to get into spoilers here, and I can't, and I won't, but Sobote Must Be Destroyed would be an easy recommendation for me if it was done. But those last 9 chapters not being translated, just I'll probably wind up doing it with Google Translate, but I just have to see the end of it. I have to know. And then I've been bouncing around between a couple other manga, trying to find one to grab me since I don't have Sobote Must Be Destroyed, and not really finding too much. I did read a little bit of, and let me make sure I got the title right here. Let me get my phone, what I read on, and make sure I got the title right. Hey man, yeah, we're finally back on YouTube too. Restream is finally working again the way that I want it to, and we are back on here. I read a little bit of Knights and Magic, and yeah, it's cool. I like it. It's interesting because I'm not an isekai man. I'm just not. I don't like isekai. It's just not a thing that I really enjoy personally. But I think that this one wins out in the way of it has giant robots. And at the end of the day, if you want to win me over, you introduce giant robots. And I think that as much as I don't love the isekai style story, I think that where this one's going of, hey, I just love giant robots. Yeah, I'm for that. And I wanted to check this out because it's in Super Robot Wars 30, and I like the music, but I don't have a ton of time to watch anime right now. So reading the manga is the easy way around that. And I'll probably keep reading it. It hasn't super grabbed me yet, but I do like the mecha design. I think the mecha design is pretty good. So I will probably continue further into Knights and Magic, but it's all right so far. And then the last thing for my week is not even really like a big thing, but there's been a lot of work on the back end that you don't see on the front end of the channel, but a lot of work trying to get everything sorted out. It is a lot more work to run a YouTube channel that's past 1,000 subs than it was to run a YouTube channel that had not yet passed 1,000 subs. Between, like, hey, do this 40-minute survey. It's required. All right, yeah, sure. Okay, I guess I'll do this 40-minute survey. To, hey, we need to make sure all your information is correct. We're going to send you a letter that has a code. Make sure you fill that in. Oh, yeah, all right, sure. I guess so. It's a lot, and it has unironically eaten more into my time than I expected it to, in a way that makes me go, hey, you know those big YouTubers that only put out like one video a month? Yeah, I get it now. I get it. I really do. So if you see the production line on videos slowed down a little bit, please understand it's not that I'm being lazy. It's that there's a lot more red tape than there was before. And then I wanted to touch on this real quick, just to make sure that everybody knew we were still dealing with it. We're still dealing with a copyright strike from Toei. I guess I probably shouldn't even say their name right now. It's no repeal. Nothing's changed. It's just, hey, we got to wait until September. So again, there won't be any content on this channel from them, which means I won't be talking One Piece. I won't be talking Kamen Rider. Just keep that in mind. Won't be talking Sentai until all that gets sorted out. Still fighting with that. Still seeing that every time I boot up my YouTube studio. And that's wonderful and fun and great. But we'll move from there into the reviews section. Now, I struggled with whether or not I was going to do reviews and without Rundgren here, and the decision that I've come to is that I won't be doing reviews tonight without Rundgren here. In future, if it's just me, for whatever reason, then maybe. But right now, with him not here, well, what's going on? We're gonna save reviews for next week. Reviews are a very fun game that we play together, and without him here, it doesn't feel the same playing the review game, you know. So we're gonna move straight into news, or actually to announcements. I'm sorry. So it could be that this show is going to be a little bit shorter because there's not a lot to talk about. I may tackle a topic at the end and see how that goes. And of course, we won't have a Rundgren's Corner tonight because he's not with us. But we do have some announcements, and the very first one it's something, man. It is. I don't even know how to talk about this really. Let me get my tab up here that has the information. There is there's a Winnie the Pooh movie being made. But it's a horror movie. So for anybody who doesn't know, Winnie the Pooh just recently went into the public domain. Anybody can use Winnie the Pooh now. Obviously, Disney owns the likeness of the specifically animated bear that they created, but Winnie the Pooh, as in from the book, is now public domain. Anybody can use Winnie the Pooh. And what this means is that since he's public domain, people can make whatever they want, including a Winnie the Pooh horror movie. So this film is going to be from Jagged Edge Productions, and it will be Winnie the Pooh and Piglet having been left behind by Christopher Robin. He hasn't fed them, and so they go on a murder spree. And I don't know how I feel about this. on the one hand, I think this is the best thing about public domain, right? Public domain allows people to make whatever they want with things that have opened up. Again, Kutsuo, as an example, for Count of Monte Cristo, is excellent use of public domain. But on the other hand, I'm so tired of, hey, this thing that you loved as a kid, now it's dark and gritty and people die. I'm so tired of that. Yeah, it doesn't work in my opinion. And who knows? Apparently there was a movie called The Curse of Humpty Dumpty that I never saw, which was about Humpty Dumpty being violent and killing people. But when horror characters become public domain, you get Hotel Transylvania. Yeah, that's true. When kids' characters become public domain, you get this. They also stated in an interview that originally they wanted to make a Charlie the Brown. Wow, all right. Charlie Brown horror movie. And I think this is better than that. But I don't know, man. It's going to be called Blood and Honey. And the only real production still we have right now is a shot of the mask that Winnie the Pooh is going to be wearing and a shot of Winnie the Pooh and Piglet. And I'll see if I can pull this up here. Here we go. Standing over a woman in a hot tub, with my assumption being it just immediately vanished. My assumption being that they're going to kill her, of course. Hold on. Let me save this and then drag it in here. Yeah, there you go. There's been no confirmation yet if any of the other characters are going to be showing up. Kangaroo, for instance, or Eeyore. Hopefully they don't. Hopefully they just keep all that away. But yeah, it. I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about this. It's not something that I would just love to see, but I guess I should watch it so I can review it. I don't know. But yeah. Next up for announcements, we have a pretty hype one. We have SD Gundam G Generation Eternal. And I didn't get to watch all of the stuff that was announced during the Gundam showcase. I have a video for Battle Alliance that I have yet to watch because I'm going to record a reaction to that to be able to put up on YouTube. But there is a new mobile SD Gundam game coming out, SD Gundam G Generation Eternal. Not a lot of information really about it yet, but it's going to be G Generation for mobile. Whether it's coming to the US, I could not tell you. They have not confirmed yet. I hope it is. But my gut says, much like Super Robot Wars Cross Omega or Super Robot Wars DD, it's probably not. I hope Super Robot Wars 30 showed them that people love these games, that the G Generation game on Steam, Cross Race, that was it, shows them how much people love these games. But, again, who knows? We'll have to wait and see. It is the English version of the Twitter account that put out the official tweet, so maybe. But again, I wouldn't bet on it right now. I would say stay skeptical of it for now. NMG1 with the Buster. Nice, very cool. Buster's a great kit. Buster's a great suit too. Buster looks really cool. Next up for announcements, I have some good news for people that I also have to tell you a story about while we're talking about it. But Hunter x Hunter and Konosuba are both coming back. That's not going to fit. Let's do Hunter x Hunter first. Hunter x Hunter / Konosuba return. There we go. So, first off, I want to specify that this earlier in the year we had Spice and Wolf was announced it was coming back. Bleach was coming back. Urusei Yatsura or Urusei Yatsura, depending on where you're at in the world, is coming back. Konosuba Season 3 was announced, and Hunter x Hunter is returning as well. So this is pretty big for people that have been waiting. It's kind of crazy when you think about it, because Hunter x Hunter, most people assumed wasn't going to return. People have been waiting for Spice and Wolf Season 3 for a very long time. People have been waiting for Konosuba for a while. People have been waiting to see what happened really with Bleach, like what else was going to come out there. for a while, and then Urusei Yatsura coming back is pretty cool. But I want to mention, and I have the link here to his channel somewhere. See if I can find it. There is a guy. Hunter Man. Trying to get the link to his channel here. Okay. Sorry about that delay. I have his channel here. This guy, when Hunter x Hunter went on hiatus, this YouTuber decided to, let me put this in the chat here. I think this will work. I think. Yeah. He decided to man, I gotta give this backstory to be able to really reveal how big this is. There's a character in Hunter x Hunter that does 1,000 punches every day. And this guy decided that when Hunter x Hunter went on hiatus, until it returned, he would do 1,000 punches every day. And he has. And over the years, he streams himself doing these. Over the years, you see him become more and more buff as he does this every single day. And the day that Hunter x Hunter was announced to be coming back, Totogeki is his last name, Totogeki-san, punched 10,000 times instead and streamed for 10 hours straight, which is incredible. Congrats to you, sir. That is nuts. And his channel has recently caught a lot of extra attention, which is good. The man deserves it. The man's working very hard. And just wanted to give him a little shout out there because it's pretty hype. Most of us are not as dedicated as that. I want to show you a picture here that shows the first day. I'm going to save these so I can pull them up for you. The first day of his punching, right here. There's the channel, by the way. The first day, we're going to crop this so it all fits. This is day 1. Over 2 years ago. And this was the other day. So as you can tell, he's gotten pretty buff just by doing this. And it's really cool to me that he was like, hey, yeah, I'm going to do it. And then he stuck with it, you know? A lot of people say they're going to do something and then they don't. And the way this guy has just stuck with it and kept going and then been rewarded like this is really cool to me. So again, there's a link to his channel in the chat. You can follow it there if you want to see it. And just, yeah. Give that guy some support because he deserves it. But it's cool. Hunter x Hunter's coming back. I know a lot of people have been excited for it. Konosuba's coming back. A lot of people have been excited for it. And yeah, you know, just things continue to come back. It's weird. I'm waiting for the monkey's paw to curl because we've been waiting for some of this stuff for a long time. I cannot tell you how long I've been waiting for Spice and Wolf because I literally don't remember when I finished Spice and Wolf Season 2. But it's been years. So that's pretty hype. Moving on, we have a State of Play. No, that's not how words work. State of Play coming Thursday. There's been a lot of rumors about it, but we don't have anything really solidly confirmed. Sony just said, hey, tune in live next Thursday, June 2nd, for nearly 30 minutes of announcement updates from the world of PlayStation. Yeah, Wish for Mercury looks like it's going to be pretty good. For sure. For sure. That one's going to be pretty high, Nathan. But, you know, we'll see what's in there. If it winds up being some cool stuff, we'll do a reaction to it. If not, you know, as usual. But that's really all there is to that. Just it is an announcement of an announcement. As usual. As usual. Then we have, next up on the list, we have a Pokemon Presents is tomorrow. for Pokemon Scarlet, Pokemon Violet. I say it's a Pokemon Presents. It's mainly just the trailer, but it's gonna be pretty cool. 6 a.m. on June 1st for the latest on Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. My assumption, they say the trailer drops tomorrow, but my assumption is they're gonna be talking about it too. We'll see, but I'm excited for it. I want to see a new Pokemon. I'm one of those people that, like, I'd rather get to see them all in the game, but I also want to see them. And so it's a tough divide that I walk. This, hey, I don't want to be spoiled, but also please spoil me, Pokemon, please. So I don't know. We'll see. I know a lot of people are done with Pokemon, but Arceus really pulled me back around. I really enjoyed my time with Arceus. The story was really good, and I had a lot of fun with the gameplay. So I'm hoping that Scarlet and Violet are going to be great. We'll see. Sword and Shield, I wasn't super big on, and especially the DLC practices and the way they did that. I have a full review up for the Isle of Valor, I think it's called, but I didn't even do the Tundra because of how disappointed I was with that DLC. We'll see. This could be great. It could not be great, but there's only one way to find out, and that's to watch it tomorrow. Also, that Firestarter looks incredibly cute, and that's all I'm saying. Then we have our Game Pass games for June. We do this every month now. We talk about what's coming to Game Pass. And for June, we have some pretty big things. We have For Honor is coming. The Marching Fire Edition specifically. We have For Honor, that's a game that I enjoyed, but I don't know, it just never really grabbed me the way that I wanted it to. The Grass Starter and Violets. That Grass Starter is also very cute. I think this is a good set of starters, all told, honestly. Ninja Gaiden Master Collection's coming. Ninja Gaiden's great. Great to be able to get that for free if you're already paying for Game Pass for other games. Assassin's Creed Origins, huge game. Not really my cup of tea. I'm not a huge fan of open world games like that. But huge game. And then Chorus, which looks to have some pretty cool combat. We'll see how that goes. Disc Room, it could be okay. We'll see. Never played it myself. And Space Lines from the Far Out, which I don't know anything about, to be honest with you. I have no information for you. I'm sorry. And then leaving on June 15th, keep this in mind, Darkest Dungeon, which is a huge failure in my mind to lose. How could you lose Darkest Dungeon? That game's great. Dungeons & Dragons Dark Alliance, Greedfall, never played it, but I should. It was bought for me by a good friend who might as well be a brother, and I just never touched it. Sorry, bro. Limbo, that's a really fun game. You have time to play that, though. Honestly, if you've been wanting to play Limbo, you have time before Game Pass goes away if you're paying for Game Pass. And then Worms Rumble, which is, it's a Worms game. Honestly, I think this is a pretty good set of gets. It's nothing that just really stands out to me. A Ninja Gaiden's great, so go for that. But definitely play Darkest Dungeon and Limbo before they go away if you care about that and don't plan on picking those games up yourself. Darkest Dungeon is a great, great game. And that's the end of our announcements. I've been a lot of talking. It's the end of our announcements. We're going to get into the news now. And news-wise, we got some stuff to talk about. Most of it's good this week, though, unlike last week. Most of it's good. But let's see what we got here. Save TF2. Hashtag Save TF2. I have a lot of thoughts about this, and I'm going to do my best to keep it reasonable as we talk about it here. It is great that Valve is finally doing something about TF2. I am so happy for those that have been still trying to play it all this time and have been desperately begging Valve to do something. For anybody who doesn't know, TF2 is completely inundated with bots. There are so many bots on TF2 that it is almost impossible to play. I wanted to do a series a while back because I love Team Fortress 2. This Team Fortress 2, for anybody who doesn't know, I love Team Fortress 2. And for a long time, I wanted to do a video on Team Fortress 2, going back and trying to showcase everything and talk about why I love it, why it really like skyrocketed me into that genre that I have completely fallen out of love with since. But unfortunately, Team Fortress 2 has been completely inundated with bots for years, and Valve hasn't done a thing about it. It's almost impossible to have a fair match in TF2 unless you just do custom games because of the botting. It's terrible. And the decision from Valve, as far as I can tell, has always been just, well, it'll be all right. People that want to play it will keep playing it. Otherwise, we're just not going to do anything about it. And people have been begging, save TF2, save TF2, save TF2. Just recently, a lot of big YouTubers, a lot of big Twitch streamers, and a lot of big people on Twitter have used the hashtag, made videos about it, talked about it, trying to raise awareness to save TF2. And Valve has finally said they're going to look into it. Again, I wish it didn't have to be because popular people said to. I wish they had just fixed it on their own. But I'm so happy for all the people that are finally getting a working and effective TF2. When they're going to do it, we don't know yet. But they've promised to look into it. And that's better than everybody that's been waiting for TF2 all this time has gotten, right? That's more than they had ever received before. So hopefully this means TF2 will be saved and TF2 will be great again, because I want to make a video on TF2. I really, really do, but I can't bring myself to do it with all the bots. It's too much. The bots are too bad. They're too bad. Let's save TF2. Again, not a lot more to say about it other than just, hey, it sorry. Chronic asthma still a thing. Has not, in fact, gone away. Even after all this time of recovery. That's what chronic means. So, let's talk about this Steam Deck alternative. Steam Deck competitor that has been making its rounds on the internet. Now, this thing is called the Aya Neo Air Plus. And it's only $289, which is a pretty good deal when you compare it to the Steam Deck, which is running anywhere from $399 all the way up to $12.99, I believe, depending on which variant you're getting. But here's the thing. It may be cheaper, but it's also cheaper. It is quite a bit weaker OS-wise. It is... Or not OS-wise, I'm sorry, core-wise. The Aerith, as some people are calling it, for the Steam Deck, has 8 cores, and the Aya Neo has 2, which is a considerable drop. I haven't been able to look at all the specs personally because it was just announced. It hasn't really been shown off yet. It's possible that it's going to be great, and it'll be the premier Steam playing machine or emulating machine. But if you view this as an alternative to the Steam Deck, I urge you to consider waiting until some more opinions are out about it. I mean, I continue to urge you to wait until opinions are out about the Steam Deck as well, because I'm not convinced that it's going to run as well as they say it will. But we'll see, right? It could be amazing. I just think that a lot of people were touting this as like, this is the Steam Deck killer before the Steam Deck's even out. And I mean, every time that something gets touted as the something killer, it doesn't. Let's just remember, Temtem was the Pokemon killer. I was going to say something was a certain major MMO that belongs to a company we don't talk about on this channel anymore, killer. It wasn't. That company was. But yeah, be careful. Don't just buy into the hype. Be cautious. Because unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there that just really want to scam you. But we'll see. We'll see. This might not be a scam. This might be great. I just urge you to be cautious. Do have some good news for you. Dark Souls servers are coming back. I'm going to pull up the Twitter account that is the Dark Souls server Twitter account. And the tweet is, Dark Souls servers have been down for 128 days. This is Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3. But after all that time, they are coming back. From Software has revealed that they will be bringing the PvP servers back for Dark Souls, which is great. The reason they were taken out originally was because of a security issue that allowed people to backdoor into your computer, which is a huge problem. And they believe that they have finally fixed it. Help is on the way. They say, we are currently in process of restoring the online servers for the Dark Souls series on PC. We plan to restore online servers for each game progressively, bringing back servers for Dark Souls 3 once we complete the necessary work to correct the problem. We'll provide additional updates as soon as the restoration schedule is finalized. We want to thank all our players for your patience and understanding as we work to fix this issue. Now, there's no timeline. They don't say when it's going to happen. My guess is they're going to start with 1 and end on 3 because they specifically brought up 3, but I don't know that. It could be 3 will be first and then they'll work their way back. But it's just good news for the people that want to play these games on PC that have been waiting and waiting and waiting to finally be able to play them online again. Because it really does take a lot away from the experience without the online on, in my opinion, on those games. But it's coming back. Next up, we have kind of a weird thing. We got a teaser for Sonic Frontiers. And when I say a teaser, I mean it is full on a short gameplay segment. It starts off with what appears to be cinematic trailer and then just cuts into gameplay. And why this is weird to me is because we don't get this, right? This doesn't happen anymore. Now we just get cinematic trailers for stuff. And it looks pretty good. I'm not huge on open world stuff, but the way this open world looks, where you're just running around as Sonic, riding on rails, running up giant things, it looks pretty good. I have a link here to the trailer in case people haven't seen it yet and would like to. To the teaser, sorry. There you go. You can pull that up. I wish I could show it to you live on stream, which a lot of people do on both YouTube and Twitch. But I'm not taking any chances while we have a copyright strike. But no, it looks pretty great. And specifically at about 17 seconds in the trailer, when it just kicks into, hey, here's a move he's doing. Or in the teaser, sorry. It looks pretty good. I'm a lot more excited for this than I was before I saw this teaser, for sure. Because if you told me, hey, Sonic open world game, I'm like, okay, that could be good, but doesn't really sound like something I super want to get into. But actually, surprisingly, looks pretty good. We'll see when some more stuff comes out. They're talking about the 23rd of June is Sonic's birthday, so there'll probably be something big then. And then IGN has the exclusive rights to reveal stuff for this game for the rest of the month. So it's possible that we'll be getting like a full gameplay reveal soon. But we'll see. We shall see. I'm pleasantly surprised, that's for sure. Next up, we have the Summer Games Fest partners have been revealed. Which is a pretty interesting list here. I'm going to read these off for you. We have 2K, Activision, Atlas, Bandai Namco. Hold on. Background. before we get into this, for anybody who doesn't know, Summer Games Fest is a deal that is done every year by Jeff Keighley and his crew. They get a bunch of partners with different video game studios, and you can see a bunch of demos, or you can play the demos on Steam, depending on the companies. You get a lot of cool stuff that you can get into from there because of this partnership. So just something to keep in mind when you hear these names, that there could be some cool stuff coming from these companies. So Bamco is on the list. 2K, Activision, Atlas, Bandai Namco, Bloober, Capcom, Coffee, Deep Silver, Devolver, Digital Extremes, .mu, EA, Epic Games, Focus, Frost Giant, Humble Games, Level Infinite, Mediatonic, MiHoYo, Netflix, Sony, Raw Fury, Samsung Gaming Hub, Sega, Square Enix, Skybound Games, Steam, Studio MDHR, Tribeca, Warner Bros., and Xbox. So, be a lot of reveals, I'm sure. Could be some cool stuff that you get to play. .mu will probably have some stuff up. Humble Games will probably run a great sale. Just something to keep up with for this year's Summer Game Fest. Now, dates haven't yet been set for Summer Games Fest. It's just going to be this June. So, please look forward to that, I suppose. But some cool stuff, you know. I'm looking forward to some cool stuff here. If I had to guess, Bloober's been talking about a Silent Hill 2 remake, which could be happening. Don't know that I really want that to happen, but we'll see. MiHoYo will probably release a new character or announce a new character for Genshin Impact. We'll probably get some more stuff about that new Street Fighter from Capcom. Sega will probably have some stuff about Sonic Frontiers. Bandai Namco might have some more stuff about the new Battle Alliance game. Atlas will probably have a new Persona. It might still be too soon for new Persona, but with Shin Megami Tensei just got its newest, Nocturne came back, it'll either be new Persona or Joker's in something else. But, we'll see. We'll see. There's a lot of good stuff that could come from this. I'm going to take that back. I don't think Atlas will do a new Persona here at Summer Games Fest. I think they will wait until a different time to do that, but we might get some new Disgaea stuff, and I guarantee you Joker is going to be in something. He always is. Looking cool, Joker. And then the last bit of news that I have for you tonight is Shinji Hashimoto is retiring. And for anybody who doesn't know, Shinji Hashimoto has been a producer at Square Enix for a very long time. He has been the Final Fantasy series brand manager for over a decade. He was the executive officer at the board of directors for Square Enix and the head of Square Enix's business division for 6 years. Business Division 3, that is. He's the co-creator of Kingdom Hearts. He's been involved in a lot of stuff here, and I have a big list of games for you that he's been involved in. And at the end of it, of course, just we'll take a little moment there because he's been a big part of a lot of games that mean a lot to a lot of people. And it just, I'm glad he's getting to retire and to be able to relax because, man. All right, get ready. Here's the list. As producer, he helped produce Famicom Jump, Hero Retsuden, Famicom Jump 2, Saikyo no Shichinin, Dragon Ball Z from 1993, Dragon Ball Z 2, Super Battle, Front Mission, Treasure Hunter G, Tobal 2, Front Mission Alternative, Chocobo's Dungeon, Final Fantasy VIII, Chocobo Racing, Cyber Org, Driving Emotion Type S, Final Fantasy IX, The Bouncer, Wild Card, Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, Kingdom Hearts 2, Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, The World Ends With You, Front Mission Evolved, Imaginary Range 2, Final Fantasy for the 3DS, Final Fantasy VII iOS, Final Fantasy IX iOS, Android and Windows PC, Pukix, sorry, that I've never heard of that one before. Final Fantasy VII Android version, World of Final Fantasy, great game. Final Fantasy 15, Final Fantasy 9 PlayStation 4 version, The Last Remnant PlayStation 4 version, Final Fantasy 9 Xbox and Nintendo Switch versions, Left Alive, that one was bad. Final Fantasy VII Xbox Nintendo Switch versions, the last remnant Nintendo Switch version, Final Fantasy VII PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and Windows version. As executive producer, we're just starting on this list. You might as well buckle up. As executive producer, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Anko no Hakaishin, Front Mission Gun Hazard, Tobai No. 1, Final Fantasy 4 PlayStation version, Einhanda, Final Fantasy 5 PlayStation version, Ehrgeiz, Final Fantasy 4 Advance, Final Fantasy 5 Advance, Final Fantasy 6 Advance, Final Fantasy PSP version, Final Fantasy 2 PSP version, The World Ends With You, Final Fantasy Fables Chocobo Dungeon, Kingdom Hearts Coded, Chrono Trigger Nintendo DS version, Yosemite DS, Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days, Final Fantasy 13, Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, Estepolis, The Land Cursed by the Gods, Kingdom Hearts Recoded, The Third Birthday, Final Fantasy Type 0, Final Fantasy 12-2, Final Fantasy IV, The Complete Collection, Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, that is. Final Fantasy III PSP version, Final Fantasy All the Bravest, that game was something. Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 Remix, Lightning Returns, Final Fantasy 13, Final Fantasy X-10-2 HD Remaster, Kingdom Hearts HD 2.5 Remix, Final Fantasy Explorers, Final Fantasy X-10-2 HD Remaster PlayStation 4 version, Kingdom Hearts Shi, I think is how it's pronounced, Kingdom Hearts Key, Dissidia Final Fantasy, great game for the PSP, Final Fantasy VII PlayStation 4 version, Final Fantasy X-10-2 HD Remaster Windows PC version, Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue, that's the Aqua's Dark Descent into Darkness, I believe. Final Fantasy XII, The Zodiac Age, World of Final Fantasy Mellow, Dissidia Final Fantasy NT, Kingdom Hearts 3, Final Fantasy VII Remake, and Neo The World Ends With You. And then in other positions, because we're still not done, Kido Senshi Zeta Gundam Hot Scramble, Chrono Trigger, Super Mario RPG, Final Fantasy VII, Front Mission 2, Parasite Eve 2, Star Ocean Till the End of Time, Final Fantasy X-2, Front Mission 4, Full Metal Alchemist and the Broken Angel, Full Metal Alchemist 2, Curse of the Crimson Elixir. We're almost done. Dragon Quest Heroes Rocket Slime, Project Sylphid, Dirge of Cerberus, Final Fantasy VII, Dawn of Mana, Space Invaders Extreme, The Last Remnant, Puzzle Bobble Live, QX++, Final Fantasy VII Windows PC version, Final Fantasy XIV A Realm Reborn, Final Fantasy XIV Heavensward, Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, Star Ocean Integrity and Faithlessness, and Itadaki Street Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy 30th Anniversary. Then finally, his filmography include Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, Last Order Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy VII Advent Children Complete, and Kingsglaive Final Fantasy 15. This man has been involved in a ton of games that a lot of people love, and he is retiring and stepping away from gaming and finally getting a chance to rest. And thank you so much, Hashimoto-san. Just an incredible catalog of games. Really, really thankful that you were a part of all of those. Thank you so much. That was a lot. That's a lot of names. And we're only just shy of an hour into the podcast. And we've finished the docket. So, I'm going to cover a topic. And whenever we finish that topic, we're going to go ahead and close the podcast early. I know you're used to 2+ hours of podcasting, and I'm so sorry. Runger couldn't make it tonight, and I'm doing my best. I'm gonna quote, what's her name, Elaine Benehoff, and say, I'm trying. Just looked at G-Generation Eternal trailer. Looks like it'll be interesting. Depends on, yeah, for sure. I would love for it to be overseas. We'll see. But I really hope it's not gacha, because I wish I could play that Gundam game on mobile, but let's talk about gacha, actually. Let's talk about the problem with gacha. And that'll be our topic here. Because I'm someone that struggles with gacha. I'm someone that has a problem with gacha games. I 100% am. And I know I have a problem. I played Final Fantasy All the Bravest. I played Final Fantasy Record Keeper. I played Fire Emblem Heroes. I played Fate Grand Order. I played Dragalia Lost. I played Genshin Impact for a long time. I played What is the name of that gotcha game that is you it's like a strategy game. I gotta look it up. Strategy gotcha. It was made by I also tried to play Near Reincarnation. Strategy gotcha on iOS. And it came out a while back. It's old. If I just find the logo here. Oh, I tried Arknights. That's right. I tried Arknights. I tried Honkai Impact Third. I've played a lot of gotcha games over the years, and I don't want to know how much money I spent in them all. I really don't. And I think out of all of them, the only one that was even remotely fair was Genshin Impact. And even then, it requires such a huge time investment to be able to be fair. I played that Tales one that didn't last, that died. I played that Lord of Heroes, I think is what it's called. I played Mega Man X Dive, yeah. I never played Azure Lane. I always thought about it, but never did. I played Grand Blue, Touhou Lost World. Never played Touhou, but I mean, I played the old Touhou way back when. But there were just so many of them, and the problem that I always fall back on them is I can spend a bunch of money on them. I can do that. I can physically do that. I played Dokkan Battle too, the Dragon Ball Z one. I can spend a bunch of money on them, and guess what? There's always going to be something new. There's always going to be a new character that comes out that you want to. There's always going to be a new thing that comes out, a new event that comes out that has something that you can't get unless you just really try, or unless you spend money. And I work multiple jobs. This is one of them, right? And you could say, well, just start covering gotcha games for the channel. I mean, there you go. Problem solved. I tried that. And it didn't fix the problem for me. It made the problem worse, because my problem is not that I don't want to play these games. My problem is that I have a problem with gambling. And I recognize that. If you don't believe me, go back and watch the old Dragon Quest streams and see when we got to, back when I had time to stream, and see when we got to the Octagonia casino, and that I spent the rest of the stream in that casino. I have a problem with gambling, and I know that. So I don't play gambling games that require you to put in real money, right? And yet, I find myself playing gotcha games. And it's because it's rewarding, right? It's rewarding. You get this new fancy character you can play as, or this new fancy item you can use. And it's not worth it in the end. It always winds up being not worth it. And I wish that it was. I wish that I could tell you that there was a gotcha out there that was 100% fair, and that it was always going to be. I played Pokemon Masters EX too. I forgot about that one. I wish I could tell you that it was always going to be fair. But it's just not. It's just not going to be fair. And the number of times that I have put money in because, hey, Fire Emblem Heroes has a Nefeni coming and she's one of my favorite characters, and I need to be able to use her. Or Innis is here and he is my favorite character and I need to be able to use him. And I made a video on that because of how much I wanted him. And you get him and you're excited, and then, hey, 2 months later, 3 months later, here's another Innis. And this time he's in a swimsuit. And he's got an axe, even though he normally uses a bow. Or here's a fancy new Genshin Impact character that has really cool voice lines and a really cool gameplay style. And you want to play as him, right? Or here's a character you missed the first time that you see the community talking about how much fun they are. And you want to play them, right? And you just don't get them. And you put $20, $30, $40, $50, $80, $100, $200, $300, and you just don't get them. And even if you did, there's just gonna be another one later. And it's just so disheartening. Swipe the card or you can't keep up. And that's not the way video games are supposed to be. Gaming is whatever you make it, right? You can play whatever you want. And if you're out there playing gacha games and enjoying them today, you go for it. But I just can't anymore, man. I wasted so much money, and I don't have that money to waste anymore. Production cost is going up and up on the channel, and you may not be able to see the difference, but I promise you it's there. Gas is going up all over the world. The cost of living continues to rise, and I just can't do it. And I've had people in the past that have gone, but I know you really enjoy this, and I know it makes you happy, so I'm gonna pay for you to be able to do this. It's like, oh, that's great, thanks. Let's go. Let's do it. And then you do it, and you've spent all that money they gave you, and you just go, was it worth it, though? Was it worth it? And for a little while, maybe you tell yourself, yes, it is worth it. I get to play with Hu Tao now. It is worth it. And then you don't have time to play the game. And a new character comes out. And they're really cool. Maybe you get them and you don't use that Hu Tao anymore. That you spent hundreds of dollars of someone else's money on. For example. It's a huge issue. And gacha just continues to roll out. I'm somebody that has been very vocal about the fact that I'll play a gacha, right? You give me a Mega Man gacha, and they did, and I played it. You give me a Final Fantasy gacha, and they did, and I played it. You give me a Fire Emblem gacha, and they did, and I played it. You give me a Gundam gacha, and they did, and I played it. But I just can't anymore. And I strongly urge you, if you're somebody that continues to play gacha today, especially if you're playing multiple gacha, look at why you're doing it. Look at what it is you want out of the game. Because I guarantee you there are other games that will give you that. Oh, I want to roll on characters, and I want to be able to get something cool. All right. There are games that can let you do that. Let's find a game that lets you roll on characters and get loot boxes. My first thought is Guild Wars 2. Buy Black Lion keys instead. They're much cheaper than gacha. You can get them in the game as well for playing, and you can open Black Lion chests, and it's random stuff. Trust me, it's a thrill every time I roll on one of those. Maybe you can play like Dragon Quest or Final Fantasy 14 and gamble in there using in-game currency that you earned by playing the game and save yourself some money. Go roll the Mystic Forge in Guild Wars 2. Go get into crafting in ESO. Like, there are so many other options. Go play Digimon Cyber Sleuth if you just want to constantly be having new characters come in as you digivolve your Digimon up and down across those charts. But I promise you, there are better ways than like forcing yourself to keep playing a gacha that you're not enjoying just because you've put so much money in. The sunk cost fallacy does not require you to keep going. Warhammer Combat Cards, that's another gacha that I played. The sunk cost fallacy does not require you to keep going. Let it go. You've already spent that money. You cannot get it back. You physically cannot get it back. And trust me, I've been there. The mindset of, well, as long as I keep playing it, I haven't wasted the money. But you're just gonna spend more. It's a vicious cycle that you can't escape from. And if you still enjoy the gotchas and you don't care about all that, go for it. Go for it. But as somebody that's finally been able to rip myself free from them, I strongly urge you to reconsider. Because it's just not worth it. They shut down. If I pull up a list of gotchas that have shut down over the last few years, let's see what we get here. I've got a list here. Hold on, that's not the right list. The gacha games that have shut down. I'm sorry, it's taking longer to find this list than I thought it would. I was on a roll here too with where I was going. Okay, here we go. Got a list. Aurora Legend. Birdie Crush. Bravely Archive. Bravely Default. Fairies Effect. Examana has yet to come out. Honkai Star Rail has yet to come out. That Jujutsu Kaisen one has yet to come out. Monster Strike. Magia Record. The EU version of Puzzles and Dragons. Played Puzzles and Dragons too. I've rolled it up during the Kamen Rider event. Valkyria Chronicles Duel. Valkyria Anatomia, The Origin. Valkyrie Crusade. Dragalia Lost is shutting down. These games don't last forever. And when they shut down, all that money that you spent is gone. It no longer exists. It's gone. You cannot get it back. I'm not going to tell you don't play gotchas, because if you want to play a gotcha, you play a gotcha. I have many, 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 many times. But what I'll say instead is, if you know you have a problem, don't just say, well, I've already spent too much. Get some help. Reach out to friends. Reach out to somebody that can tell you, hey, maybe this isn't healthy. Or maybe it is. Maybe you have a healthy obsession with it and you can break away anytime you want. But I can tell you from my experience, you can say that all you want. Sometimes that's really hard to do. So, all I hope is that if you have that problem and you're hearing this, that you try and talk to somebody about it. You can talk to me in the comment section. I don't care. Just please try to talk to somebody about it, because it's a huge issue that is plaguing a lot of people. And the response to it is always, well, it's because of loot boxes. Well, no, the problem is how predatory, that's the word, it all is. And that sunk cost fallacy that just tells you have to keep going. Yeah, anyway, that's gotchas. I talked about that for like 20 minutes. Didn't mean to do that. Not apologizing, but that was a lot longer than I meant for it to be, talking about gotcha games. But, yeah. You know, we got a lot coming up on the channel. We'll go ahead and get into plugs here and close it out. Coming up. Got a lot of stuff coming out on the channel. Still have that secret video that I'm excited for. Still in the process of editing that. And then I got a Guild Wars 2 video that went up this week for World versus World, which I talked about there. Had a lot of fun with that video. I've got more videos coming for Guild Wars 2, of course. Got one that I'm really excited for, like I talked about, that's going to be going over my girlfriend's new player experience and the new player experience that's coming in Guild Wars 2 that I'm really excited for. Got a pretty big video that I've got planned. Going to take a lot of work and a long time, but the first part of that will probably go up within the next couple weeks. We might have a Thursday show. We might not. We're going to wait and see, depending on how things go. But we'll be back, of course, next week at the same time. We'll be back on YouTube and Twitch, most likely, because this worked. This was the test, and it worked. And I'm pretty stoked about how well it worked, because I know that people have missed having us on YouTube as well. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And yeah, thanks everybody for coming to hang out with us. It's been fun. I know it's a shorter podcast than usual, but we should be back to normal next week. But yeah, it's been great. Thanks everybody for coming to hang out. As Rungren would say, there's only ever one of you. There's only ever been one of you. There's only ever going to be one of you. And the world is better because you're in it. So I'm going to borrow that from him this week. It's very, very true, especially after the events of last week. Please don't forget, you're important. You matter. No matter what anybody may tell you, you matter. So thank you for watching, and thank you for being a part of my life, even if just for a moment. With all that said, though, I've been Trey. This has been the Full Spectrum. Remember to always enjoy the full spectrum. Life has to offer.